Hello. I want to ask you a question, and it's going to set the pace of this video. Why are you broke? Think about that. Why are you broke? You saw that that was the title of the video, and you came to the video because you're either broke or you're wanting to know who all's broke and why are they broke. So, in order to answer that question, why you're broke, we need to first figure out why why are you in this situation? How did you get in this situation? What is it that you have done to put yourself in a situation where you are living paycheck to paycheck? Um, yeah. So let's dive into it. Let's explore. My name's Mr. E. This is my channel. I hope to help you as well as help myself understand and learn and better myself financially, as well as better help everybody. Um, and the reason I wanted to make this video and hopefully a series of videos about this is because I was talking to my cousin who is a lot younger than I am, at least a decade or more. Actually, I think he is about 13 years younger than I am, and he's getting into the workplace for the first time. He just got his first paycheck, and he is unclear about what to do with his money. So his first inclination was, okay, I'm going to take my first paycheck, I'm going to go out on the weekend, and I'm going to blow it all on whatever, video games, pool, bar, doesn't matter. And I had to tell him, like, hey, trust me when I tell you that that's not a good idea. But first things first, I am not a financial advisor, right? I am in no way an authority on money, on how to save money, on how you should spend your money. So understand that what I say and what I present to you all is simply lessons that I've learned the hard way, right? School of hard knocks, right? Looking 40 in the face and not understanding financial wellness until about 5 years ago really puts a lot of my early years in perspective, especially now that I know things and I can look back and be like, if only I hadn't have spent all that on all that, I could have that now in a 401k or some sort of retirement. Anyway, so the reason he asked me or brought it up is because in school, and now there's probably exceptions to this, but the majority of schools right now do not teach financial wellness. They don't even teach you the basic tenets of balancing a budget or keeping a paper ledger of your spending. And I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? When I was in school, we're talking 90s, I was in school during the 90s. I didn't have financial wellness classes at all. In fact, no one told me how to do my taxes. No one told me about credit and debt and stuff like that, and how to not get into credit debt, thus resulting in several years of me in some pretty heavy credit debt. But that needs to stop, right? First things first, do you know how to balance a budget? Sounds simple enough, balance your budget. Well, common answers to that are, yeah, of course I do. That's simple because it is just a matter of, looking at my online banking and seeing what I have left from online banking. And yeah, okay. Yeah, you can keep a somewhat. That's a good reference tool. But you really need to keep a paper ledger, or even if you don't have a checkbook, even if you have no intention of ever writing checks, you should probably still, if you have a bank account, order a book of checks, and it does have areas on the back where you can balance your budget. Before I go any further, let me run a scenario that happened to me. So I was 24 and I was working for a restaurant chain, and I was making about $300 to $400 a paycheck, when you count all the stuff, right? And so that was like every Friday I was getting paid that amount of money. And to me, I thought I was doing all right. It's a decent amount of money. I was young. I was able to afford my own car insurance. because I live in the Midwest, so cars are kind of a necessity. And I'm out on a weekend, Friday night. I didn't have to work this weekend, so I was like, okay, cool. I hit up some of my friends. We all decide we're gonna go to the local pool hall to play pool. So back then, everything was still cash. So I went to an ATM. Start of the night. We're all in my car. We're on our way. I was the only one in my group that had a car, or I was the only one dumb enough to be like, yeah, I'll totally drive everywhere and waste all my gas. So we get in the car. I get to the ATM. I put my card in. Transaction declined. Now, you know that feeling when you put your debit card into the machine and suddenly you don't have money. You think, that can't be right. I just got paid. I just put this money in my account. I haven't really spent anything. What's the story here? What's going on? So you sit down and you think, okay, well, there goes the night. You can't do anything at this point, right? Like, you are spent. So you have to go back to the car and be like, hey guys, this is what happened to me. I can't go do anything tonight because I apparently don't have any money. And I printed out a receipt of my balance, because back then, if you wanted your balance, you didn't have cell phones that could go onto your website. Like, your cell phones were your old Matrix cell phones. So you get a printout of your balance statement from the ATM, and you're negative $250. Negative $250. So not only did you spend every bit of your paycheck, by you, I mean me, not only did I spend every bit of my paycheck, I also threw myself in the negative because I overspent my account. Now, why that's important is because that was prior to many lawsuits and fail-safes that have since been created with online banking, to where you can get a maximum amount of fees depending on your bank. The bank that I had at the time was a credit union, did not have that limit, so I proceeded to get hit with an insufficient funds fee every day per day that my account was below zero. And I also got hit with a fee for every transaction that threw my account into zero, thus resulting in a 200 plus negative bill, basically. Now I owe the bank money. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Hard lessons learned hard ways. Super embarrassing, by the way, when I went back to the car and told everybody that I couldn't do anything because I was broke. They all, of course, none of them had any kind of money management issues. They all had cash in their pockets. So I was the odd man out. So then I didn't learn a lesson from there. I proceeded to just get a better job, because I had graduated high school at this point, or got my equivalency, and got working in the corporate sector. Call center, loved it. I didn't love it. Nobody that works at a call center, well, there's exceptions, as I've said before, but the majority of people who work in a call center are not enthusiastic about their call center job. They're enthusiastic about their paycheck and their ability for incentives and stuff like that, but not necessarily their job. So I was making a lot more money at that point. Jump ahead 5 years, car payment now, car insurance, and every single paycheck I was finding that I was getting paid on Friday, which we'll get into why that's messed up in another video, but I was getting paid on Friday, and by that following Thursday, I was broke. No money in my account. Then I had to last a week and a couple days till my next paycheck and start this whole cycle over again. So if that little bit of story there resonated with you in any kind of way, then you're exactly where you need to be. So what is the benefit of having a paper budget versus an online banking budget? Every transaction that you transact, you have a receipt, a thank you for your purchase, whatever, even if it's for online. If you take that money and you jot down the total dollar amount on a budget and throw it against what it is you have in your account, because you've updated your account when you put in the money, or you go on your online banking, find out that there's no pending charges, this is what it is right now, then you know this is what I'm spending and this is how I spend it. So by keeping a paper budget, you have a more accurate and more finite, I guess would be the term. You have a more distinct number of what it is that you have. Now, you always want to have a little bit of money left or right to make sure that you didn't, you account for everything. But that right there, you start doing that. So stop all spending. First off, let's discuss what's frivolous spending, right? That's a term you probably heard, frivolous spending. Subscription boxes. You have that HBO subscription for that one show that is currently not running right now, but you never close down your HBO subscription because, I don't know, you might want to watch something later on. You've got, like I said, subscription box to 1, maybe 4 things. You've got credit cards with credit card payments. You have the joys of Amazon and other online retailers that love to set up transactions for you and make it super easy to spend $5 here, $6 there, $2 there. Things like that add up. Now, if you do not keep a paper budget, black and white paper budget. Now, okay, I'll even say spreadsheet. If you don't even keep at least a spreadsheet of your spending as you spend it, those little transactions are going to throw you all the way off, and then you're going to find yourself living paycheck to paycheck. So knock out the frivolous spending. Try it. Take 4 months and only spend what you need to spend, right? Like your groceries, your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, your car insurance, and your subscriptions like your cell phone. Knock out get rid of the HBO. Now, I'm not picking on HBO, it's just what's in my head right now. Get rid of those frivolous spending so that when you are spending and you look at your total amount that you're spent, because with your online banking, you can obviously go back and look at it and determine, okay, this is what I'm spending. These are all my reoccurring transactions. Knock out what you can from the reoccurring transactions. And then you'll have a little extra money that goes from this paycheck. You'll have a little extra money that carries over to the next paycheck. That's an amazing feeling, right? So how do you do that? We've already determined that you're going to knock out your frivolous spending. Easiest lesson, and this lesson is going to carry you throughout the majority of your life. Spend less than you make. Yeah, spend less than you make. Easier said than done, but rule is simple. And take that savings, because eventually you're going to get to the point, like I was saying, where you're going to have an overflow of cash. So your paycheck being $1,100, you spend all but $100. Still, saving that extra $100 is going to make you feel so much better when you look at that paycheck coming into your bank and you're used to seeing your paycheck amount as the dollar amount in your account. Suddenly that amount is $100 or $150 more than what it was before the last time that you had a deposit. Starts feeling good. You get that itch to like, how much can I save? So then after that, you take the saved amount, you invest that additional cash, that additional money into things that you know. Now, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not anybody to tell you how to invest your money, so I'm going to leave that to better channels and better people to explain that. And then you start to acquire wealth that way. So I know that was a lot of information real fast. Feel free to pick through the video, ask your questions in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as I can with those. I do also want to specify that this is more of an overview. We're going to deep dive into a lot of these subjects going forward in the next few videos, just because I feel it's important to get a very strong understanding of the basics, right? So first step to stopping that hemorrhaging, get rid of your frivolous spending. Like I said, give it a 4-month try. I know 4 months is a lot to ask, but considering the human malware that we're dealing with now, and while it's almost gone, you'll be happy if you start saving now, even if you cut out a lot of that spending, because when you're able to go do stuff again, and you know what I'm talking about, you're going to have extra money to go blow because you're going to want to go big. Or you just sit back and you watch everybody else lose all that extra money that they have and start living more paycheck to paycheck. And more channels like this start popping up. But anyway, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. I will be streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Saturdays, or I might do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll put that in the description below. I'm not going to start streaming yet until we start getting more people. Otherwise, you just come in and watch me play video games. Which, hey, if that's what you want to do, cool. But I hope this video helped you. I hope you learned something. I hope I didn't talk too fast because I'm a little nervous. But anyway, ask me the questions. Information for me will be right down here, right? It should be, oh geez, I'm terrible at like aligning this up. It'll be in this section down here for where my social medias and my Twitch and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope to talk to you again. And remember that companies are going to try to flatline you with financial pressure. Don't let them flatline you.